Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the end of the videos? Another paid request. This time for Peter. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. PayPal is usually the best bet. Links are down below in the info box. It could be a tier list, review, commentary, reaction, re-review, random topic, whatever the case may be. Now, Peter wanted me to react to his top 10 favorite horror films, and I just sort of give my opinion on them. Although one of these is more of a thriller, but okay. So his top 10 here. 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. Makes perfect sense to me. I love that film. I first saw that on VHS tape back in the day. And I can't remember the year. I got it from a store called On Q, which was a regional store. And didn't know anything about it. I saw one picture and one book that was a little bit of the monster. It was one of these like hardcover Fangoria books. I have the book somewhere. I think it's in the closet over there. And the back of it doesn't really show you much. There's like a picture of Kurt Russell's face. There's a picture of a guy on fire. The front of it doesn't really show you anything. It's the silhouette and the white light. So when I watched the film, I'm like, wow, the music by Ennio Morricone and the John Carpenter feel to that, the brooding atmosphere of gloom and doom, oppressive feel. The cast worked so well together, from Keith David to David Clennon to Donald Moffat to, of course, Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley. Worked so well together. T.K. Carter. To me, there's no bad performance in the film. To just the way the effects by Rob Bottin were just some of the best I've ever seen in my life, to the point that literally had to rewind the VHS tape like 3 or 4 times each time those scenes happened to watch and marvel, like, what the hell? Mind blown. And it's one of those movies that the ending works for that particular movie, because John Carpenter knew how to handle it well in terms of giving that ambivalence, but in the right way, with the way the characters are acting, and you can make your choices in whichever mood you're in. It's a fine line, and usually a lot of times John Carpenter knows how to move along that line. But yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing is an absolute classic. It's one of my favorites. Number 2, Psycho. I don't mind Psycho. I would say I warmed up to it more throughout the years. Back in the day, I wasn't a fan of it. Nowadays, I liked the first half with Janet Leigh and Anthony Perkins, and the build-up and the way they talk to each other. I think the two of them have good chemistry with each other. The movie loses steam for me when Janet Leigh dies, because the person who plays her sister and the other guy, I don't think those acting performances are as good as the scenes between Janet Leigh and Anthony Perkins. There's still some good looking shots, like the guy who gets killed and goes down the stairs, and nice music by Bernard Herrmann. So I don't mind the film, but I do prefer Psycho 2. Psycho 2 is actually my favorite of the franchise. It's easily better than the remake. I wonder what you think of the remake, Peters. If Psycho is your second favorite film, you must love the remake. That was the fucking Xerox. But you get to see Norman Bates masturbate. By Vince Vaughn playing him. Fucking hell. There's other Alfred Hitchcock films I prefer. Rear Window is my favorite, and then The Birds, probably my second favorite. I'd probably say I also prefer Strangers on a Train and Saboteur. But I don't mind Psycho. I don't mind it. I've grown. The movie's grown on me. But yeah, there are Hitchcock films I prefer more than this, and I do prefer Psycho 2 more. I'm just more interested in that story, where he's a psycho, but yet the movie made me feel sorry for him. It really did seem like he wanted to go on the straight and narrow, and you're almost pleading, please let him succeed in that. But these outside forces are fucking it up for him and everybody else. Sorry about the edit, I had to do something, but yeah, next we have Vertigo, which, I mean, it's more of a thriller. That's number 3. I'm not big on the film. I don't like the film at all, to be perfectly honest. That's a film that I know a lot of people love and defend the film. To each their own. Again, there's other Hitchcock films I enjoy more that I mentioned: Strangers on a Train, Rear Window, The Birds. But Vertigo, I just think it's boring. It's dull. I don't think the story's that interesting. I don't think the characters are that interesting. I don't think the mystery's that intriguing. I just never understood the hype to Vertigo. I just don't. I can understand Psycho, The Birds, and Rear Window, which I love. But Vertigo, I just never understood it. So, but that's cool if you like the film. Teach their own, Peter. Number 4, Halloween. Absolutely a classic. What more can be said? John Carpenter's classic music. Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance. Take a simple story of the babysitter murders and giving it enough class with the way the widescreen is used by Dean Cundy, the photography of the film, the nice smooth pans, following, whether it be the opening, following the kid going up to kill his sister, or other times where the camera just pans and moves along to take us on this ride, this journey. Donald Pleasance bringing a bit of class and stature. Jamie Lee Curtis being likable and as the normal, typical lady of suburbia, or however you want to call it. Michael Myers having the right mask, the right sense of menace, again, the music working well. Halloween is a damn classic. I mean, there are little nitpicks, sure. Like the sister at the beginning must have had the quickest sex in film history. Because as soon as they go up, the kid like gets this in a mask, and then boom, the boyfriend's done. I guess maybe he had a bit of premature ejaculation. 0.5 seconds. Or yes, I know, when Michael Myers stabs the guy, the guy would not be hanging from the knife. His weight would have pulled the knife down. Just like Michael Myers stabs the knife and the guy's hooked in there. Granted, his body would bend the knife or like some would teeter and fall on the ground. But it's a good looking shot. I'm willing to overlook that. I know Rob Zombie, he loved the movie so much he like hated 50 things about it. I don't like the Michael Myers drives. I don't like the Donald Pleasance seemed like he was drunk. That always bothered me about where he found the mask. Why did he find it out of the store? What if they had another mask? Yeah, because putting a mask in the fucking dirt and coming up and looking like he got shit on is so much better, Rob Zombie. Yeah, having a little kid grow up to be an 8-foot tall motherfucker that in your preferred cut, you have two yokel jackass people at the hospital fucking assault and rape a girl in front of this 8-foot tall monster hulking guy. Yeah, it'll smell my fingers. Yeah, because anybody would fucking do that to a guy 8 feet tall and 5 feet wide. Yep. But you're complaining that Michael Myers drives. What the fuck? But yeah, fuck the remake. But the original Halloween classic. Number 5, Hellraiser. I do like the film. I do prefer the sequel, Hellbound, Hellraiser II. But I do like Hellraiser 1. It definitely has some very creepy special effects scenes, like the rebirth of Frank, about how it goes from this drop of blood and how the arms and all this stuff is made up. Some pretty cool makeup effects there. Even the very beginning of the film where the guy opens up the box and these chains come out, and then you see a Cenobite kind of putting pieces of a face together, and all the chains and the creepy music. And Ashley Lawrence did a good job. So did, I know his name. He was the bad guy in Dirty Harry. He had a supporting role in Cobra. Guy who plays the dad. Again, I'm bad with names. Well, I got a phone right here. Just one second, I'll look up his name. So, Robinson. Andrew Robinson? I want to make sure I get the name right. Andrew Robinson? Yeah, Andrew Robinson. Okay. Wanted to make sure. Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt a bit more unique of a movie compared to other horror films of that time. It felt a little bit more of you don't know what the hell's going to happen next, but the whole pain and pleasure mixed together. Pinhead being such an intellectual and such a striking design with the pins, and Doug Bradley doing a good job at the voice, the cadence, and then whatever they did after to tune his voice the right way to make it sound so much more powerful. This might have been the sequel, but I always remember the line, "Your pay will be legendary even in hell." Just commanded the screen. And I mean, to the point that, I mean, when you watch Hellraiser 1 and 2, they're not in the film much, but they make a hell of an impression, no pun intended, so. So Hellraiser, good choice. Number 6, Friday the 13th Part 4. That's a lot of people's favorite in the franchise, which I can understand. I do like Part 4. Tom Savini does a wonderful job on the makeup effects. You do have some fun characters, including from Crispin Glover and his buddy, is it Lawrence Monahan? Last American Virgin from that movie. Him and Crispin Glover, they're back and forth. The computer says you're a dead fuck. The computer don't lie. I do like that. I like their banter. Corey Feldman, I'm not bothered with him as a kid actor because honestly I think he was a better kid actor than grown up actor. And I do believe that. Like, if I watch him in Friday the 13th Part 4 or The Goonies or Stand By Me, I think he was a better actor back then compared to now. The guy who played Jason, Ted White, may he rest in peace. He definitely brought that hulking menace to it. I did the makeup effects by Sam Savini. Definitely some very awesome, especially the way like Crispin Glover gets it on other stuff. I like the idea of Tommy, the little kid, being a fan of makeup effects. They show that a little bit. I kind of wish they showed that even more so. I didn't mind, was it Kimberly Beck? The one who plays his sister, pretty much our lead. I do like her. Overall, it's a pretty solid sequel. I mean, the only it follows a bit. It does follow the formula, so it does feel a lot like the first 3 movies. But it still did it fairly well. Yeah, Kimberly Beck. You also have Judy Aronson, who would later be in American Ninja. I do like the guy who played Rob. One of the few deaths I mean really felt sorry for, because you don't see any blood, but just he tried to do the right thing, and he's like, "Ah, run! He's killing me! Run, run!" There's actually kind of a creepy, effective bit. I guess the less is more approach worked well on that. But yeah, it's a good entry in the franchise. Number 7, Nightmare on Elm Street. The original was a classic. Other than the very end, where because Rob Shea argued with Wes Craven wanted to end it. Really, his ending was the best, where the kids just go off and you see the kids jumping rope, and you make the determination, is this a dream, is it not a dream, was the whole movie a dream, what's going on. Then Rob Shea, the producer, wanted Freddy driving a car, which he got in the second film with Freddy driving a bus. Neither one liked the other's idea, so they had that really bad, the mom, then she's to a Barbie doll going to the damn house, Freddy pulling the Barbie doll into the house, like a Looney Tunes, that. And I don't give a shit about that song. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I mean, so the ending's a bit. lousy, but it's still a lot of good stuff. I like Heather Langenkamp. I like Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund was born to play Freddy Krueger. The score by Charles Bernstein, very effective. The rules, the whole 1-2, Freddy's coming for you, that whole rhyme. The look of Freddy with the dirty sweater, red and green, the hat, the voice. The idea of, if you die in your dreams, you die for real. Just a great concept, some pretty interesting effects, even for its time. The arms elongated, and the face being pulled off early on in the film. The stare was a Tina, and Nancy gets stuck in the stairs with the almost like quicksand type of stairs. And it showed that with dreams, the sky's the limit in terms of imagination. Anything can happen in a dream. And that helped, I think, the Elm Street franchise get bigger box office compared to other horror slasher films. As in, number one, Robert Englund having a personality as Freddy. And two, because the nightmare scenes were able to develop into special effect events. What you don't see next in this movie? Because in a Friday the 13th or whatever, you don't see Jason stab someone or kill someone putting something here or axe to the head. But Freddy, you don't know how. And I wonder what that will be. You gotta see the film to find out. So, that bit of intrigue. And yeah, my favorite is part 4 and then part 3, but the first one is a classic. So far he has John Carpenter's The Thing number 1, Psycho number 2, Vertigo number 3, Halloween number 4, 5 Hellraiser, 6 Friday the 13th part 4, 7 Nightmare on Elm Street, 8 Videodrome. Very interesting choice. Definitely one of my favorite David Cronenberg films. The ending, is always like, but James Woods and his performance, what it says about technology at the time, long live the new flesh, very surreal experience watching Videodrome. The effects are insane, whether it be the cancer gun, the videotape that disappears in the stomach, all that stuff. And what it says about how technology can brainwash people, and when people control technology, sort of the hindrance and the vitriol and the damage they could try to do to other people. Which, now that we have AI coming about, who knows what the fuck will happen with that. First they're going to be writing strips and images, and this will be ruining the world. We'll have a real life Videodrome. I wonder if there's a way you could do that, in the fact of, like, if some psycho said, you know what, I don't make this product, and, obviously by doing this, then he would disappear later. I don't know, put it out there into the market on streaming services, and then when people watch it, like, if it, some kind of mix of sound and some type of visual stimuli to, like, alter your senses, your brain, I don't know. Maybe not, but it's an interesting food for thought. One of my favorite scenes is the way they do the effect with the TV, how the TV kind of becomes alive and people, a hand is being, like, you see this kind of sexual sequence where James Woods is at the TV, presses his head towards it, and talk about literal mix of sex and technology, which I'm sure is part of Cronenberg's point. But I just found it an interesting movie to watch. And I'm a big James Woods fan. He's definitely one of my favorite actors. So, great to see him as the lead in this. I don't like that he dies at the end, because I felt sorry for his character, and I wanted him to, unless you buy into literally he did go into the new flesh, but that's probably meant to be something else more, his job was done, goodbye. But I don't know, I still felt sorry for his character. So, Let's see, number 9, we got Hellraiser 2. Speaking of, I talked about Hellraiser 1. Yeah, Hellraiser 2. Like I said, that is my favorite of the franchise. Mainly because it did what a lot of sequels did, where it took the first film and it made it bigger, more expansive. I don't know if I say more of an action film, but like you have First Blood, then you have Rambo First Blood Part 2. You had Phantasm, then you have Phantasm 2. You have Evil Dead, then you had Evil Dead 2. Like you had the second film that would try to go bigger and wilder or crazier or bigger or more action or something. And in the 80s, that was to be a fairly successful formula. And Hellbound Hellraiser 2, yes, I get that you just say for a chunk of it, it's the first film all over again. Instead of a guy, it's Claire Higgins, her character needing victims to get her flesh back, just like Frank needed to get his flesh back in the first film. I understand those points. But for me, it's mainly the second part of that film, where I love the look of the held alternate dimension. It's a very unique take, simple but unique take on it. And I like the Dr. Chenard character, like his Cenobite, and how he's just killing all his patients. And I actually like that there's a little bit more backstory to Doug Bradley's character. We see a little bit of who he was. He was a soldier back in the day. And then you see a little bit more of that in Hellraiser 3. Some people don't like that direction. I do. I like knowing a little bit more about Pinhead as a character. I don't think they need to be taken out so fucking easily. That's one thing I can dislike about the film. They did take it out way too damn quickly, without much of a fight. I thought, that's lame. Not kind of lame. That's lame. So I understand people's disappointment in that, but I like that Ashley Lawrence. It felt like she had a bit more of an active role because she had to be a protector of this younger lady. Which kind of reminded me of Aliens. Kind of like Ripley, you had Newt. Ashley Lawrence has his younger person that they have to take care of and be, again, the mother protector role. I forget the actress name. I'll look her up. I did like her as well. She's mute for most of the film. And I do like that her first line is like, "Oh shit," or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny. Let me get the actress's name. Like I said, Ashley Lawrence, I just felt like she had more to do in this. As in, she had more of a... Again... Got to be a little bit more of a heroic character. Because they get to save the... Once I get the actress's name... Let me check 1 second. Sorry about this, folks. Imogen Borman as Tiffany. Which I don't know, did she ever do stuff afterward? Nothing I recognize. Yeah, nothing I recognize. I think just TV. Yeah, just TV stuff. UK TV, that is. Because all this is like TV shows in the UK on BBC One. So. Huh. Apparently she's gone into some legal troubles too. Drunk driving charge, banned from driving for 2 years and issued a fine. Found drunk in rain conditions with a 3-year-old girl who was dressed as a fairy. So sadly, it looks like she has an alcoholic problem. Hope she's able to kick it. That's too bad. But yeah, I did like her in this movie. And Anyway. I thought Christopher Young was able to create even more bigger scope of a store. Like I said, I like the look of the. I think the whole hell dimension brought an interesting aspect to it compared with the first one. And yeah, it's always the one that caught my eye was Hellbound Hellraiser 2. And number 10, Friday the 13th Part 3. I do like that one. I would say there's others in the franchise I prefer. Jason Goes to Hell, yes. I'm being serious on that. Part 7, Part 6. I'll probably say those are my top 3 favorites. I do like the reboot. I do like Jason X. I do like Part 2. I do like Part 4. Like, obviously all those I mentioned I like more than Part 3. But I like Part 3 more than Part 5 or Part 1 or Freddy vs. Jason or especially Part 8. I mean, we get the introduction of Jason in the hockey mask, and that actor did a great job portraying Jason. And sadly, that actor has passed away, just like Ted White, and sadly. And let me get his name. I'm sorry, one second. Because I apologize for it. I'm bad with names. But Richard Brooker. Yeah, Richard Brooker, I do like his portrayal of Jason, because his is, I would say, the creepiest version of Jason. That's what it seemed like to me. Just seemed like his Jason was a lot more creepy, a lot more sleazy, like a lot more rapey, to be honest. But yeah, I always liked him because, how do I put it? Let's say he had that. Are you going to fuck me or are you going to kill me? In which order are you going to do it? And the introduction of the hockey mask was a great choice because I'm not big on the tater sack look in Part 2. The hockey mask definitely has more of an iconic look to it. And it does have some good kills. Has one of my favorite kills when the guy's walking on his hands and Jason, as I put it, gives the clincher. Hits the guy right between the legs, like, ooh. The 3D stuff, I mean, if you're not watching 3D, it does look goofy, but there's a bit of fun charm to it. I do like the comic relief character, Shelly. I do like him. I think he's actually likable and not annoying. But again, it's kind of like, okay, we're getting to the formula. When the woods, they get killed all one by one. No one knows what's going on until the final act. Going around, find the bodies, have a one-on-one with the villain, try to have a fake jump scare. In Part 2, it was Jason coming out of the window to grab Amy Steele, but then she wakes up and wondering, was that real, was that not? Part 1, it was Jason and out of the light. Here, it's why would the girl know that Jason had a mom and the mom was dead and knew what the sweater looked like? How would she know anything about Jason's mom? How would she know anything about it? And also the lead, I'm not big on in Part 3. She's serviceable. Like, it's not that she's god awful, but there's a lot better. Amy Steele, Adrian Keene, Laura Parlinton. Like, I just think there's other more stronger actresses. And there's not much to the character either. Now, I mean, other than when she has a little bit of history with Jason because Jason tried to attack her. Which is funny because it's supposed to happen so long ago, but he's wearing the same clothes that he got at the beginning of this film. If you don't know, watch that movie again, and the flashback when she's talking about Jason and he's chasing her, he's wearing the same clothes that he found and stole at the beginning of this movie. So why is he wearing the same clothes that he got at the beginning of this movie for this to happen? I don't know how long ago. Would have been before Part 2, I guess. Because this takes place right after Part 2. So this event that happened months or whatever before Part 2. But he's wearing the same clothes at the beginning. So, it's kind of foo-for. And also, why would this lady know Dana Kimmel? Why would Dana Kimmel know that who Jason's mom, what she looked like with the sweater? Why would she dream about Jason's mom? It doesn't make any sense, but that's because they had the other ending where she walked up and Jason cut her head off, and that was the nightmare. But they didn't use it, I guess, because they didn't think the effect looked good enough. So I guess instead of reshooting it, so the effect looked good, which I don't know why you didn't just do that. Or hell, even if it was just, there's Jason, he swings, cuts away. Grabs her head, he swings, boom, edit, she wakes up. Even that would have been more effective than this, but... I mean, like I said, the effect scenes could be fun and charming. The guy again, his eyeball popped. And I think they fixed this on the Blu-ray from Stream Factory, but I remember when the eyeball, like, it would wobble, so you could see, when it wobbles, you see the wire. Because it's, it had to go, so you see the wire. They might have fixed that in the Blu-ray stream. I don't know. They might have taken that out, though. I don't remember. Maybe not. I don't mind the film. I liked the movie. It's fun. It's a fun sequel, but it's not a favorite of mine. But I do like it. But it's kind of okay. We're kind of repeating the same thing. At least we got the hockey mask and stuff. But again, I think not having a strong lead. And then her boyfriend felt like a lame version of Fred from Scooby-Doo with his ascot or whatever the hell. It's not an ascot, but he would have his sweater like it. I figured Jason would fucking squeeze the sweater and then squeeze it so hard the eye would pop. But it's a fun film. So, I mean, I liked all the films except Vertigo, but all the other films I do like, so pretty cool list. And for folks that don't make fun of the guy or anybody, is their list. They have a right. And I think Vertigo... It's more of a thriller than a horror. I think he did mention that too. I know he said, yeah, he knows it's more of a thriller, but he just had to put it on there. That's cool, but a lot of good choices on there. And The Thing, Hellraiser 2, Halloween, pretty cool. So, thank you once again, Peter. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.